Hi, in this video I'll show you how to answer experiment questions for AP Physics. So these ones can be hard sometimes because you're just given certain like tools that you would use, and you're not sure if what the answer is because you don't even have numbers. So here's what you need to do. Obviously, first read the question. So in this case it says, during an experiment a toy car accelerates for a total time of 5 seconds. As soon as we see that, let's write down that. Time is 5 seconds. Which of the following procedures could a student use to determine the average net force exerted on a car during the 5 seconds that it accelerates? So we are looking for which one would help us know the net force. Well, now let's think about it. What actually is net force? Well, we know that it equals mass times acceleration, and using our momentum equations we know that it is also mass times change in velocity over change in time, which kind of makes sense because that's what acceleration is. How we got that is by knowing that the change in momentum equals force times change in time, which is also impulse. And just rearranging that around because this is mass times change in velocity. So that's what you have to first know, and that will make it a lot more helpful. So now that we know this, we know that to find the force we're going to have to know the mass, change in velocity, and change in time, or just mass and acceleration. So we go through each answer choice and see what that would tell you if you do what it says. So the first one says, use a meter stick and stopwatch to measure the distance that the car travels. So in all of them we already know the time, change in time, because it told us 5 seconds. So let's go ahead and already put that for all of them. But A just told us displacement, so we'll put on change in x. Alright, next. And you can already see what I ended up choosing. Sorry about that, but this is just showing you how to do it. Use a balance to determine the mass of the car. So we write m, because that would tell us the mass. Then use a motion sensor to measure the speed from 0 to 5 seconds. So we would also know change in velocity. C says use a balance to determine the mass, and a meter stick once again. Then this one says use a motion sensor, change in velocity, and also meter stick. So now we know what we would know if we did those things, and we need to know this. Tells us what we need to know. We need to know mass. The first one doesn't tell us mass, so no more for that. And then we need to know acceleration. None of them tell us that. Or if we look at this second equation, we need to know change in velocity. That is not for C doesn't tell us that, so we can cross that out. And we need to know change in time, which we know for all of them, and also mass. D doesn't tell us mass. So B would be the answer because it tells us time, mass, and change in velocity, which would be able to tell you force. So it's not really that hard, you just have to break it down more simple. And just make sure not to just guess, because that's what can get you the wrong answers. Just try to think about what you know and how you can apply it.